Waiting for the PSAT scores. Not a good idea. I want to explain why no student needs to rely on the results of a PSAT for her or his SAT and ACT planning. It's because the PSAT is a snapshot that the colleges don't see and that you don't need because you can get better snapshots with a real SAT or a real ACT or a practice SAT or a practice ACT. Since the PSAT doesn't count, taking a practice full-length SAT in places like this is our testing room at Ivy Bound. We give you scores from actual SATs that are going to mimic the scaling and the test type that you will be taking. And you'll get those scores back very rapidly. How about within a half hour? Because that's when our scaling takes place as soon as kids finish their test. The feedback is immediate. The actualness, I think, is very important. The PSAT doesn't have the same scale as the SAT. It caps out at 1520, not 1600. The PSAT lacks some of the harder math questions that are likely to show up on the SAT. So it's not even that representative. And there's no pressure on the PSAT. Now, when you're taking an SAT for practice, there is. But what you get, if you take the SAT for practice in a real situation, you're surrounded by kids for whom there is pressure, okay? Almost all of them are taking it for keeps. And whether they're well-trained or not, there's usually a tenseness. You want to experience that even if for you it's for practice. So there's only about 1% of students for whom the PSAT has any relevance. That's some recruitable athletes and some minorities who have some extra award for an early PSAT score. Let me say, the reward for SAT success or ACT success is what counts. And waiting for a PSAT score can dampen your ability to do as well as you want on the ACT or SAT. One of the best times to take these tests is early March for the SAT. February for the ACT. If your PSAT scores aren't back until December, you don't have the time to study. We want kids studying for 3-4 months. And so starting in November at the latest is when kids will march themselves up to a February ACT date, or December at the latest for a March SAT date. That's what should guide you, not the result of the PSAT. By the way, those are not especially helpful anyway. The packet that comes back shows, yes, certain questions right and certain questions wrong. The SAT tries to categorize them, but they're almost meaningless, okay? Passport to advanced math is a category. It's exponents, or it's number properties, or it's functions, or it's algebra with systematic equations. A tutor or you alone can be more specific in how you analyze, and you'll have the results in front of you right away. Once again, you take a test with us, you leave with that booklet. You can study it in full that night. So again, waiting for a PSAT is useless, and it could even be harmful if it's the cause of your delaying what might be a very opportune time to study for the real test. I'm Mark Greenstein of Ivy Bound.